Hey guys, Coach Berg here, breaking down some squatting. So this is the bottom of two different squats. So we have Luke here on the right doing some wall balls, and this is me on the left just doing some air squats. So what you're gonna notice is that the ankle and calf on my side are in straight lines. And then what you're gonna see on Luke is that we have this hard angle on the ankle, or on the calf and the ankle and the foot. And then we see that the foot isn't flat either, where we have some, I don't know if extreme is the right word, but we have some over pronation going on in the foot, and his foot is probably flat as well, like he's losing that arch. So this is not an ideal position for squatting. What we would like to see if we come over here is that the foot stays flat the entire time, and that we have a straight line with the calf, ankle, and the foot. So when you see as he extends, we kind of lose that issue. And then when we come down in that squat, you just see immediately it starts happening. So there's a couple issues that why this might happen. The first one is ankle mobility. What kind of dorsiflexion do we have in the ankle? I would say that this is likely not the issue, but I mean, it could be, but I don't think that is the primary issue. We definitely want to work some ankle mobility, flexibility. I have a bad right ankle, so especially on pistols, I struggle on my right side with some mobility. And then you can notice that Luke's left foot, there's a little bit more pronation compared to the right foot as well. The other issue that we have is there's something called tibial rotation, and if we have a hard time, so tibia is one of the bones in the leg below the knee, right? So we have that tibia, and sometimes we lack the mobility to rotate that tibia properly. So now instead of it rotating how it's supposed to rotate, what we're getting is it stays in place, and that turns into into this pronation. The other issue that might be happening is that he's just having some flat feet where he's not active in his foot position. So when we are squatting, if I'm squatting overhead, we're looking when we squat to have a tripod. You think about your big toe, the big toe knuckle, the ball of your foot, the outside part, like that pinky toe, and then we have our heel. And we want a tripod in that position. Actually, it's kind of like this, right? That ball, maybe not that aggressive. We want to make sure that we're creating that tripod. So this is from the top view. And if I go from the bottom view or from the side view, I should have an arch in my foot when I'm squatting. So I got the ball of the foot here and the heel here. There should be a arch there. And there's some drills that you can do to make sure that you have that. And then the last one is Luke has a tendency to be very narrow in his feet. So if you look, his feet are essentially underneath of his hips. And I would say that's more of a deadlifting position. Whereas you can see me, my feet are more outside of my hips, underneath of my shoulders. So I have a little bit of a wider stance. And we are aware of this with Luke, and that issue is going to be more in the hip. So the question is that hip mobility also causing some ankle issues? So we have four issues there that might be the primary issue. So what I would start with Luke is to focus on the tripod, making sure we're getting that tripod stance and thinking about screwing our feet into the ground, and then working on some of that tibial rotation, doing some tempo squats, can be really helpful with that. And the last one is really working on the hip mobility. I think the ankle mobility is actually the last thing I would check. I mean, I would definitely check it, but it's probably the last thing that I think, like based off of these angles, I think his ankle flexion is pretty good, dorsiflexion. So tripod with the feet, we got the tibial rotation, the hips, then we have the ankles. So if you notice this, so this is what the takeaway with this. I don't want this video to be super long. That's why I'm not going to like break down like, hey, this is what all the movements are and how to do those, because we need to figure out, hey, what's the issue and how do we correct it. But if you see a squat and you look like this, we're in a relatively good place. That's not to say I have a perfect squat. There's some things that I need to work on. But if our ankles are looking like this in the bottom of a squat, we have some issues. You're going to get a lot of pressure in those ankles, and there's some work that we can do there. All right. Hope this helps. If you see somebody with the tight ankles, send them this video, and then send them to us, and we can help them out. Cheers.